Tonight, an Ottawa kidney recipient pushing back against his insurance company.
I'm not sure why they would take a risk with somebody's life to save a few dollars.
They want him to go generic. He wants to stay on the brand name drug that has kept him thriving.
There is essentially no benefit to the patient of doing that, and you are putting them at risk.
And his doctor says a switch could be dangerous. A graphic reminder to drivers.
We've been here 33 years, and there's not been 1 year that we don't hear of a few cars that the tires have come off.
Of just what can happen when your newly changed tires aren't properly torqued. OPP urging drivers to follow up after a Queensway driver is seriously injured when a tire from an opposing vehicle smashed through his windshield. And the Charge deliver a Mother's Day gift. Back to the Walter Cup final for the second year in a row, but they won't find out who their opponent will be tonight as illness cancels Game 5 between Montreal and Minnesota. Good evening. We begin tonight with a kidney transplant recipient speaking out because his insurance company refuses to pay for a brand name drug he's been on for years. It's because a generic version is available, but his doctor insists switching is too risky. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with the details. Katie.
Patricia, even with a doctor's note, Chad Zachary's request to continue having the cost of the brand name anti-rejection medication reimbursed has twice been denied. His doctor is also surprised his medical justification isn't good enough.
One of the 1 milligram.
Chad Zachary has taken this medication every day since his kidney transplant 3 years ago.
It's my wife's donated kidney, and I feel I owe it to her to make sure I keep it as healthy as I can for the longest time.
Advigraph, the brand name of the drug tacrolimus, is used to help prevent organ rejection. His insurance plan with the federal government had reimbursed the cost of hundreds of dollars until last month.
They said no, there is a generic medicine.
Canada Life told him reimbursement at the brand name cost can only be approved if an adverse reaction to the lowest cost alternative drug has occurred or is expected to occur. So Zachary sent in the required form with a doctor's note stating there's a risk of organ rejection with a generic version.
And we made sure to point out what the doctor had said about the risks of making the switch, and then when we heard that it was denied the second time, it was mind-boggling.
There are very few medications that fall into that narrow therapeutic index, but anti-rejection medications are one of them.
Zachary's doctor says even small changes can cause the appropriate dose to be ineffective or toxic.
There is essentially no benefit to the patient of doing that, and you are putting them at risk. It's not that generics are bad. It's just that in this case, for this medication, you want to keep as much as possible patients on the same brand of medication to avoid that variability.
In a statement, Canada Life says the government's Public Service Healthcare Plan Authority determines what is covered under its plan, and Canada Life administers claims in compliance with it. The Treasury Board says reimbursement is limited to 80% of the cost of the generic equivalent, and that it's Canada Life's medical experts who determine eligibility for reimbursement of the brand name drug.
I am blessed that we have two incomes, but there's a lot of things that other people are not going to be in a position to pay. And so I'm not sure why they would take a risk with somebody's life to save a few dollars.
Zachary says the manufacturer is now covering what Canada Life won't pay, but he doesn't know if it's just for this month or beyond. He's planning on appealing to the Public Service Healthcare Plan Administration Authority. Patricia.
CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, it is a frightening situation no driver wants to experience. A tire flying off a vehicle on Highway 417, crossing the median and striking an oncoming car, causing significant injuries. This happened Friday night, and now police are reminding drivers about tire safety. CTV's Josh Morano is taking a look at this and joins us with more. Josh.
And Patricia, with spring tire changes happening across Ottawa, police and mechanics say this incident is an important reminder about retorques, lug nuts, and making sure wheels are properly secured. This photo shows the damage after OPP say a tire came off a vehicle on Highway 417 Friday and struck an oncoming car, resulting in significant injuries.
Of course, the impact from the tire, there was some glass that had gone into their eyes and, of course, on their face. And they were transported to hospital because of it.
I know what happens. I'm an old car guy, so I'm kind of familiar with wheels and tires.
For driver Barry Cox, who recently changed his own tires, the incident is a reminder to never rush through tire maintenance.
If there's people out there that are doing it, maybe they're doing it wrong, not retorquing their wheels, roughly after 100 kilometers. I know that. I do mine. I do my kids.
Double torquing after driving 80 to 100 kilometers is one of the measures Ontario Provincial Police are reminding drivers when switching to summer or winter tires.
This ensures that they are as tight as possible on the vehicle in case anything had loosened up during the time that you were driving after they were initially installed. Obviously, you can see how dangerous it is if the tires do come off.
According to police, tires coming off vehicles doesn't happen often, but when it does, it occurs most this time of year and in the fall when people switch to their winters.
It's not a big deal to put on a tire. The big deal is making sure the tire is clean and on there properly.
At DiRienzo and Sakely Automotive, owner Nick DiRienzo says tire changes are booked through June, but notes people should always go back to get their tires checked.
It's always good to have them retorqued, and you don't have to go back to the same spot. Some garages will torque them even if you don't have your tires installed there.
Cox says warning signs like vibrations, rattling, or shaking should never be ignored, especially at highway speeds.
You can hear it. You could feel it. It might not just be the tightening or loosening of the tire. It could be something else mechanically that caused the failure.
Police say a driver has been charged under the Highway Traffic Act for the wheel coming off the vehicle, with fines ranging from $2,000 to $5,000. Patricia.
They always say, come on back in a couple of weeks. So easy to let it slip your mind. This is a good reminder tonight. CTV's Josh Morano live for us. Thank you. Well, police in Brockville are appealing for video footage as the investigation into last week's triple murder continues. The bodies of 3 people were found in a home on Cartier Court Thursday morning. The victims were identified as a 49-year-old mother and her 2 daughters, aged 15 and 17. A 17-year-old boy was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Police say the accused was in a relationship with one of the daughters. Investigators are now asking residents and business owners to provide any video footage from between Wednesday, May 6th at 10 p.m. and Thursday, May 7th at 2 p.m. The area of interest includes the Loyalist Park neighborhood and the area of Centennial Road and County Road 29. Police also released a description of a suspect to look for in the video, a person around 6 feet tall and 280 pounds wearing dark clothing. Still ahead, reworking the family budget. More evidence our spending habits have changed as we work to keep up with the price of groceries and gas and put less essential items on hold. That story coming up. Well, taking a live look now through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is 11 degrees out there right now, a little bit windy, but Jackie, judging by that frost advisory we're seeing, it's going to get cold tonight.
That's right. We are sitting well below seasonal for this time of year. Typically, our overnight lows are at 8 degrees, but tonight we're getting down to about 0. You did see that camera move a little bit, so we've got those wind gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour. It is expected to taper down this evening, but there is still with it a risk of some thunderstorms in parts of eastern Ontario. We did see scattered showers moving through. This is in place for the next few hours, but it should clear in the overnight. 11 degrees here in Ottawa, 10 in Kingston. We've got Petawawa at 10 degrees, where there is a mix of sun and clouds. So we mentioned the overnight down to 0, a few clouds in the sky, but we've got those northerly winds moving in. So it is going to be a fairly cool day in the capital for tomorrow. 14 degrees, the anticipated daytime high, mainly sunny skies. And yeah, Tuesday, it will likely be mainly sunny, dry conditions, but Wednesday, it will be another story. There is a system in place that is moving through the region. We'll get a closer look at that forecast for you in just a bit.
Safety organizations are urging people to be careful around the water, especially at this time of year, after a 2-year-old child fell into the Ottawa River and drowned Friday night. CTV's Dylan Dyson joins us with more on this. Dylan.
Patricia, it's a terrible incident that police are right now deeming an accident. Now, Life-Saving Society Ontario is sharing key information for this time of year to ensure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. The organization says many drownings involving children under the age of 5 happen when there's a lapse in attention, such as checking a phone or having a conversation. And this can happen around any body of water, whether it be a river, lake, pool, or in the bathtub. The organization says 68% of drownings happen between May and October, and many of these occur when people are not even intending on going into the water.
Just make sure you're taking precautions, especially near rivers and places where there are embankments. It is possible for that soil to be very loose and for it to just give way under your feet. So we want people to be very cautious. Make sure if you are exploring and you're out doing that, you're doing so safely. It's always a great idea when you're going near a waterway specifically to explore to wear a life jacket.
Another key piece to go along with wearing a life jacket is to always have children within arm's reach when around water. The Life-Saving Society is also reminding people who are eager to get back outside as the weather warms that open water can still be very cold and fast moving, and that can restrict you from swimming to the best of your abilities compared to later in the season when the water may be calmer and warmer. Patricia.
CTV's Dylan Dyson reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, Ottawa police are investigating a crash in Little Italy that injured 3 people. It happened around 7:50 last night at Carling Avenue and Preston Street. Police say the crash involved a motorcycle and multiple pedestrians. A 30-year-old man, a 26-year-old man, and a 34-year-old woman were all brought to hospital in stable condition. It's unclear who was driving the motorcycle. Meantime, a 17-year-old is facing charges after getting stopped for stunt driving for the 3rd time in 5 months. Officers pulled the driver over on Leitrim Road yesterday, going 136 kilometers an hour. The speed limit is 70. Police say it's the 3rd time the driver was charged with stunt driving since December. The vehicle was impounded. Well, turning now to the latest on the deadly Hantavirus outbreak. All Canadian passengers who were on board the affected cruise ship are now home and isolating. Those possibly exposed on international flights are also being monitored. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Most of the roughly 130 passengers aboard the MV Hantavirus have returned home or are in the process of getting there, including 4 Canadians who arrived in British Columbia after being flown from the Canary Islands on Sunday.
All 4 were and continue to be well and have no symptoms.
BC's top doctor, Bonnie Henry, says while strict isolation protocols were put in place aboard the cruise ship in early May, 2 passengers, an American and a French national, have tested positive for the virus since returning home, reinforcing the need for strict public health protocols during the incubation period.
We are all hoping that the 4 people who are here with us will remain well through this incubation period, but this is exactly why we are taking the precautions and why plans are in place should their conditions change.
Henry says the quarantine clock for the 4 Canadians started yesterday. They will quarantine for 21 days and be monitored for 42, the longest known incubation period for the virus, a rare rodent-borne pathogen that can cause serious illness in humans. 3 people have died since the deadly outbreak began aboard the Hantavirus, with at least 7 confirmed cases and 2 reported cases. More than 20 countries are now working to contain the spread of the virus, including Canada, where at least 10 people are being monitored. Today, Ontario's Minister of Health confirmed a 3rd person is now self-isolating in the province.
We have not seen any indication that they were in close contact and would become symptomatic.
Today, the ship's captain released a video praising the resolve of the passengers and the crew.
And I must commend my crew for the courage and the selfless resolve that they showed time and again in the most difficult moments.
And in a sign of just how quickly things can change, the World Health Organization says the French passenger who began experiencing symptoms on the flight back home is now in hospital in critical condition. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the Hantavirus outbreak. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel. Well, as for more minor ailments, pharmacists here in Ontario will soon be able to treat several common issues as the province continues its push to expand their scope of practice. It's part of the government's plan to ease pressure on primary care and emergency departments. CTV's Austin Lee is live in studio with the details. Austin.
Yeah, Patricia, these changes are set to go into effect in July. That's when pharmacists will see their scope of practice expanded, and it means they'll be able to treat 9 more common ailments, including warts, ringworm, nasal congestion, and head lice. Ontarians will also be able to seek help from a pharmacist for things like calluses, dandruff, dry eye, and jock itch. The plan is to add another 5 conditions to that list in 2027. Now, pharmacists can already treat 19 illnesses, but in July they will also be able to provide 6 extra vaccines, including tetanus, RSV, shingles, and other shots that are currently only available at doctors' offices and other clinical settings.
Pharmacies continue to play a critical role in keeping care close to home, particularly for those without a regular care provider. Today's announcement to expand pharmacist scope of practice, enabling pharmacists to assess and prescribe for an additional 14 ailments, is an important milestone, reinforcing the trusted role pharmacy professionals already play within the primary care system for patients across the province.
Now, according to the Ontario Medical Association, more than 2.5 million Ontarians are without a family doctor. And a recent survey shows more than 50% of family physicians are planning or considering retirement in the next 5 years. Now, the province says it is also working to expand the scope of practice for other healthcare professionals, including optometrists, physiotherapists, and dental hygienists. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Meantime, a new report finds hospital admission wait times in Ontario have increased by 52% over the past 5 years. According to the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives, 90% of patients spent 44 hours in the emergency department awaiting admission. It is placing the blame on what it calls perpetual budget deficits and government underfunding. The organization says the majority of Ontario's 136 hospitals have carried operational deficits since 2022. Well, it is one of the largest airport infrastructure programs in Canadian history. A groundbreaking ceremony today marking the beginning of a massive construction project at Toronto's Pearson Airport. CTV's Rahim Ladani has the details.
What is the #1 thing you would change at Toronto Pearson International Airport?
Luggage arrival.
Additional escalators, more elevators.
There's often many lines are just closed.
Inside Terminal 1, not everyone feels Canada's busiest airport stacks up to others.
It's always a joy when you come back after a long flight, have to wait for almost 3/4 an hour for your bag.
Recently, I've been to the Newark airport, which was renovated, and they have a very streamlined system.
1, 2, 3, go!
Hoping to improve the travel experience, officials are breaking ground on a 10-year modernization project. Phase 1 will cost $3 billion, and Pearson's CEO says passengers will feel the difference through fewer delays and smoother travel.
You'll often find the pilot saying, okay, we're sitting here waiting for a gate. So we're going to have expanded airfield parking aprons and aircraft positions and a high-speed taxiway that moves airplanes faster onto and off the runway.
Other promises include less baggage disruptions, while runway and airfield upgrades could help move up to 28,000 more passengers a day. Government officials also say the project will create tens of thousands of new jobs.
This means more pathways into the workforce, more opportunities for our businesses, and more economic momentum for the entire region.
While some travelers feel Pearson Airport is on the right flight path.
Personally, I don't think we've had a horror story with Pearson. Right? But again, we live in Grimsby, not Toronto, right? So, but when we come, everything runs smoothly.
Others aren't convinced about the decade-long vision.
I believe it when I see it type of thing. Usually when somebody says 10 years, it usually means 15.
During construction, airport officials say travelers will not experience any extra delays, and more expansion plans will be announced in the near future. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
The Ottawa Charge will have another chance to go after the Walter Cup after punching their ticket to the final. That classic Charge celebration on the ice at Canadian Tire Centre yesterday after eliminating the Boston Fleet with a thrilling double overtime win.
On net, another stop by Franco. Roosevelt, they score! Michaela
Michaela Cava scoring that goal just over a minute into the second overtime period to give Ottawa a 4-3 victory. They will now face the winner of the Montreal Victoire Minnesota Frost series that was set to be decided tonight. But they will now have to wait a little longer to find out who they are playing. That's because tonight's Game 5 in that series is postponed, the league says, due to player safety concerns related to illness. The PWHL did not provide information on the specific illness, but says the symptoms are not consistent with Hantavirus. No rescheduled date has been set, and that could delay the Walter Cup final schedule. The Charge were set to host Game 3 next Monday, May 18th, the holiday, at the CTC, and Game 4, if necessary, on Wednesday, May 20th. Tickets are already being sold. The league now says playoff schedule will be dependent on when the players can play.
Food, electricity, everything, gas, for instance, right now, like people are, they are suffering.
Well, coming up, new details on how the rising cost of food and gas are directly impacting Canadians' spending choices. Jackie.
Well, thanks, Patricia. We are starting off cool tomorrow with 2 degrees, but we are having mainly dry conditions. Lots of sunshine also in store for our Tuesday, where we are likely going to get to a daytime high of about 13 or 14 degrees. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where very similar temperatures right now. It is 11 degrees out there right now, showcasing Macdonald-Cartier Bridge. There's a slim chance we could see some showers, but that's expected until about 8 p.m., where we will likely get mainly cloudy skies for the rest of the evening.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe.
Where foodies love their sweets.
And markets bursting with flavor.
Wrapped up in waterways.
And hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past.
Where people come together.
Always proud.
Often loud. Whee!
And positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
Taking a look at the roads at this tail end of your Monday commute, we are seeing things start to clog up at Churchill, moving westbound, and that traffic stays thick right through to Woodruff and beyond. Some construction through that area. While many Canadians feel rising everyday costs are putting direct pressure on their finances, that's according to a recent survey painting a clear picture of a country under financial strain. CTV's Leah LaRocque reports.
Dennis Granier can't believe how expensive life is these days.
You try to find deals wherever you can because it's crazy out there.
The price of food and gas, the biggest strain recently on people's pocketbooks.
Food, electricity, everything, gas, for instance, right now, like people are, they are suffering.
A recent survey by Harris & Partners, a bankruptcy insolvency trustee, backing what many are feeling. More than 90% of Canadians changed how they manage their money in the past 6 months due to shifting economic conditions.
We have two kids at home, and so double income was just surviving.
Nearly half of respondents say they're cutting back on overall spending, and 1 in 5 delaying major purchases they had planned just to get by.
I'd like to go for a weekend fishing trip and stuff like that, but that's put on the back burner, maybe not even happen this year.
The survey found that not only are many consumers delaying big purchases, but they are also struggling to cover everyday essentials and are dipping into savings and relying more on credit.
They're delaying things like having a barbecue with their family because, they can only afford rice or soup or whatever it is. Delaying maybe going to a doctor's appointment that's a little out of the way because they can't afford the gas.
Harris & Partners saying the summer is also when people can typically start saving. But this year is different.
The result that we got that was like the most shocking to me is that 91% of the people said that the financial change to them was out of their control.
Everyone looking for ways to save, including the Breslavs, who did the math and the planning ahead, hoping to stay ahead.
We're from Shawville. So we come to the city once a week and do Costco.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
It is a cool start to the work week in the capital, but things are set to start warming up. We had plenty of sunshine and blue skies over the Chaudière Falls this afternoon. Beautiful there. But temperatures are below average for this time of year. We even have a frost advisory in effect for tonight. But 20-degree temperatures could return in the next couple of days. which would be nice. It was absolutely beautiful and warm on Saturday. That was the gorgeous day. On the weekend, today was odd. There was some hail reported in Westboro, and now this frost advisory, but better things ahead.
I was saying that those pictures look a little deceiving because I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful, blue,
so warm.
green. Definitely not. I still brought out my thicker coat. It feels more like October weather, but the good news is, as we mentioned, things are starting to warm up right now. Current temperature, yes, we are sitting around 11 degrees. We saw a daytime high of 12, and while the winds are about 20 kilometers per hour throughout the day, we did see them get up to about 40 kilometers per hour, so it was a strong windy day. However, it is going to cool down, as we mentioned. A frost advisory in effect, going down to about 0 for here in Ottawa, as well as Cornwall, Kingston, and Brockville at 1 degree. Yes, in the valley, it's below 0. We got -1 in Pembroke, -3 in Bancroft, -3 in Maniwaki as well, and -1 in Petawawa. We are still getting to those double-digit temperatures, though, in the daytime, and tomorrow, much drier conditions and sunnier conditions as well. 14 degrees for here in the capital, about 12, 13 degrees for really much of eastern Ontario, and it is going to look that way as we get into Wednesday. Here's a look at across Canada now. Fredericton sitting around 12 degrees. A little bit of rain activity in Charlottetown sitting around 9 degrees. You can see a lot of that cool air coming down. Timmins 7 degrees, cloudy skies. Sudbury around 8 degrees. A little bit warmer. Toronto and Windsor at 12 degrees. And we are wanting to get that warmth coming from the Midwest. Who is basking in this warmth? Well, Regina, Saskatoon sitting around 19, 20 degrees. Edmonton at 18, 15 in Calgary. And it's Vancouver at 17 degrees and lots of sunshine. So take advantage of the sunshine for tomorrow, because by the time Wednesday overnight rolls around, especially around Kingston, we're going to start to see this weather system move through. The early radar is showing between 15 to 20 millimeters of rain moving through for our Wednesday, and the bulk of this will be in Wednesday morning. So really around Kingston, the heavier rainfall moving through. Here in Ottawa, we're going to start to see this closer to the noon hour and really carry us into the early part of the afternoon. So again, have your umbrella nearby, but keep in mind 15 to 20 millimeters of rain moving through for our Wednesday. Now, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Take a look at these temperatures. Wednesday, 11 degrees, the daytime high. That overnight low, though, we are starting to get into seasonal conditions where it's going to be 9 degrees. Thursday, 14, and then things are going to warm up. I'm loving the stretch that gets into our long weekend. Yes, folks. 20 degrees for 4 days in a row. And by the time Monday rolls around, 24 degrees is the anticipated daytime high. And yes, Patricia, I know this is going to change a couple of degrees.
No, let's lock it in, lock it in for the holiday.
But no promises, but I'm very hopeful that we're going to stick to 24 for Monday.
The 19 on Saturday felt like 25. It was so rare to be seeing that. So yeah, we'll appreciate that when it comes. Thank you, Jackie. Coming up, one of the city's major construction projects is set to enter the next phase, which means more road closures are coming. I know. I feel ya. Details just ahead.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. A study published by the Canadian Medical Association Journal has found that babies born to mothers with endometriosis, a common gynecological condition, could face a slightly higher risk of birth defects. CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief Genevieve Beauchemin reports.
Christina Kasparian's long struggle with endometriosis has affected many facets of her life.
A delayed diagnosis wreaked havoc in my system, my nervous system, my immune system, my fertility, my career, everything.
1 in 10 women live with endometriosis, a chronic inflammation where uterine-like tissue grows outside the uterus. And in a new study, researchers looked into the risk of congenital anomalies in babies born to mothers with endometriosis, looking at birth defects like a cleft palate or anomalies including those of the cardiovascular or gastrointestinal systems.
We're not trying to alarm anyone. The risks are still really low. It's just helpful for clinicians to maybe monitor these patients a little bit more.
The study found 6.3% of babies born to women with endometriosis presented with an anomaly, as compared to 5.4% to other women. Anomalies overall are rare, and the difference is small, and it's not clear just why endometriosis may be a factor.
There might be an impact through an inflammatory pathway that can change the gene expression when a baby is developing.
And while experts say the study has limitations, it does provide insight on a disease that is underreported, often diagnosed too late.
This is a significant illness that can impact on the quality of a young woman or an older woman's life, and then the other issues with fertility. So yes, definitely is something that we need to do better in terms of the medical profession.
Experts say much more research needs to be done. Still, the study highlights the need for better prenatal care for those suffering with endometriosis. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
In tonight's big picture, the FIFA World Cup is quickly approaching, and at least one part of Toronto is match ready. A soccer pitch has replaced the skating rink at Nathan Phillips Square. It's just one of the ways the city is marking its status as a host for the tournament. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. New data suggests Canadians may be avoiding travel to the U.S. even more than we think. The measurements commonly used to show the decline come from border crossings, where Statistics Canada shows a dip of about 25%. However, new research out of the University of Toronto looked at Canadian cell phone activity in major U.S. cities and found a median decline of 42%. The researchers say the new information reveals that border data doesn't capture the full extent of the drop. And when Canadians do travel south of the border, they are visiting fewer locations and staying for shorter lengths of time. The Ottawa Catholic School Board is looking to hire dozens of new teachers as the English Public Board prepares for job cuts. The OCSB says it will need an additional 66 teachers and staff as it anticipates enrollment to increase by more than 1,400 students next school year. It's a much different situation at the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, which is looking to cut 150 positions next school year due to declining enrollment and a deficit budget. Gatineau residents will no longer have to come to Ottawa to shop at IKEA. An IKEA plan and order point is now open at Les Promenades Gatineau. It's not a full store, but there is a selection of IKEA products at the location. Shoppers can also pick up online orders and access design services. Well, a note to drivers, the next phase of the Bank Street Renewal Project will begin next week, and there will be more traffic disruptions in the area. Starting next Tuesday, May 19th, the eastbound lanes of Riverside Drive between Data Center Road and Neil Way will be closed to vehicles. Left turns will also be prohibited in all directions at the Bank Street and Riverside Drive intersection. Crews are replacing underground sewers and water mains and reconstructing roads and sidewalks. Well, tomorrow is the deadline to fill out your census form. Stats Canada says reminder letters will be sent out to households that don't complete the form on time. They may also follow up with phone calls and in-person visits. Not completing the form could eventually result in a $500 fine. The census is completed every 5 years, and the information is used in population-based decisions on how public resources are allocated.
Hopefully, once they're in the area and in the business, they'll come back and maybe experience what Centertown has to offer, because there's a lot. We have a lot of businesses.
Well, coming up, a new initiative to try and revitalize Centertown, and it involves free food from local businesses.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal. Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, there's an effort underway by Centertown merchants to bring more business into the city's core. The incentive starts with a free sandwich, but the plan this summer is about rebuilding reputation. Here's CTV's Camille Wilson.
Can I get any vegetables? For Percival Pink, this is home.
Centertown is definitely a very vibrant community, especially with the queer history that it does have.
Pink lives and works in Centertown and knows it well.
It definitely does have its rougher spots, as you'd see with like in any major city, for sure.
Bank Street in particular has seen several businesses close with vacant storefronts. Now the Centertown Business Improvement Area is launching a monthly food promotional campaign focused on local shops.
We get overrun by all of the chain restaurants, which people go to on a daily basis, but we have so many mom and pop shops, so many shops that
we want people to be more aware of and a lot to offer in Centertown.
Kicking it off, Sabito Sandwich for their meatball sub.
I thought it was a really good opportunity to show the community some of the food we offer, bring some people into the area as well.
To be able to really support local businesses, have a bit of flavor. This is the Italian flavor that I crave every once in a while.
With the keywords Bites of Centertown upon arrival, a free sub is yours. And this promotion to help encourage people to come back to the area to help boost Centertown's image. Sungi Kulamala lives in Centertown and also owns Sungi Fitness in the area.
It's a great neighborhood to go through, to walk in with my wife and my daughter, and also to run my business.
Last fall, Centertown held a volunteer cleanup, this all in addition to this initiative.
Centertown's amazing. It's a very vibrant, we're trying to be the most, we are, I would say, the most arts-focused district in the area. We're trying to bring people down here and be a more lively area.
And for Pink, no matter what's said, Centertown will always have a place in heart.
I'm really happy to call Ottawa my home, and I love the area. It's really great.
In the upcoming months, more free food handing out. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Well, returning now to one of our top stories, Toronto's Pearson International Airport is getting a series of renovations that will cost billions of dollars. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more on that and the day's other business headlines.
The initial $3 billion will be used to bring a state-of-the-art lighting control system to the airfield. The 30 kilometers of conveyor belt that handles baggage will also be upgraded. The changes will allow Canada's busiest airport to serve up to 65 million passengers a year. In 2023, it served 45 million passengers. The federal government's partnering with TELUS to build a data center project in BC. 2 new facilities will be developed in Vancouver, which will come online in 2029. A center that already exists in Kamloops will be expanded and will be up and running this year. Barrick Mining's reporting a profit that more than tripled from the same period in 2025. It earned $1.6 billion US. The Canadian company actually produced less gold, but its revenues boosted by the price of gold. The stock was up today over 9%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up slightly to 73.11. West Texas Intermediate is up to 98.13. Western Canadian Select is up to $75. And the TSX gained 61 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
There were some bugs and connection problems, as expected, in a project this big, but nothing major so far.
Still ahead, going digital in Quebec. That province is switching from paper health records to online files. But how is the rollout going? More on that after the break.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal. CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
Health records in Quebec started to go digital over the weekend. The province says the rollout is going well, but so far there have been hundreds of requests for help. CTV's Sweeta Rassi has the details.
Nearly 11,000 healthcare workers in Montreal North and the Mauricie logged into Quebec's new digital health record over the weekend. And while there were some technical hiccups along the way, Quebec Health Minister Sonia Bélanger says everything is going according to plan.
There were some bugs and connection problems, as expected, in a project this big, but nothing major so far.
The platform, known as the DSN, replaces paper files, faxes, and forms, putting all of a patient's health information online. In the 2 days since its launch, more than 2,000 support tickets have been filed. The biggest headache so far has been the speed. Officials say they've increased the platform's bandwidth from 2 gigabytes to 10. One healthcare worker union has already expressed concerns about the rollout. This morning in the Mauricie region, there was a major outage as the network was down for 2 hours. In a statement to CTV News, the Regional Health Authority writes, temporary connection issues were observed this morning in various departments of the institution. To ensure service continuity, some departments have temporarily switched to paper-based procedures. Santé Quebec says it's looking into the cause. It also says support staff are on standby as it braces for more tickets in the days ahead. Sweet Rassi, CTV News.
Well, coming up, a celebration both on and off the ice at the CTC with the Charge marking Mother's Day ahead of yesterday's game. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. Taking a look at the next 3 days. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies, 14 degrees. It's going to cool down by Wednesday, where, yes, we are expecting significant rainfall to move through. But Thursday, chance of showers will linger, but we're back up to 14 degrees, and then we'll get to a stretch of 20-degree weather. We'll have those details after the break. But for now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where it is 11 degrees out right now. A little bit windy as we look towards McDonald-Cartier Bridge. Again, the sun is shining, but there is still a chance we could see some light showers moving through in the next few hours.
Tonight, what expected mothers need to know about endometriosis.
We're not trying to alarm anyone. The risks are still really low.
New research on the risks related to a common condition. We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News and Watch on Crave.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Take your weekend path. We've got the Bronco Sport for it.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Ottawa, the City Folk Festival has a new location and a new lineup. We bring you all the details Tuesday morning. Tune in on CTV or stream us live on Crave at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, back-to-back episodes of The Big Bang Theory, Hockey Fanatics, a couple more episodes of Big Bang, and The Rookie. And here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
I'm not sure why they would take a risk with somebody's life to save a few dollars.
A drug coverage dispute between an Ottawa man and his insurance company, which has denied coverage for a brand name drug he's used for years.
After 100 kilometers of driving, you bring your vehicle back in and get the tires retorqued.
Ontario Provincial Police reminding drivers about tire safety after a tire came off a vehicle on the Queensway. The tire crossed the median and struck an oncoming car going through the windshield. The driver suffered serious injuries.
We want people to be very cautious. Make sure if you are exploring and you're out doing that, you're doing so safely.
A warning about the dangers of being near water after a toddler fell into the Ottawa River and tragically drowned on Friday night. One final look at the forecast and a frost advisory to keep in mind for this evening.
Yes, so we had quite a windy day today. We've had a little bit of rainfall. You mentioned Westboro, a little bit of that hail. But yes, later this evening, if you are out and about this evening, make sure to bring a light jacket because it is getting down to about the freezing mark. And look at tomorrow's wake-up weather. There is no double digits. It's 2 degrees, but the good news is we'll have lots of sunshine really for all of our Tuesday. You could leave the umbrella at home. We are getting to a daytime high of 14 degrees, and then we can start to see the temperatures, even the overnights, getting back to seasonal conditions. So seasonal overnight is about 8 degrees, 18 for our daytime highs. We're not quite there for Wednesday, 11 degrees, 14 for Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for our long weekend, we are anticipating that 20-degree weather. I'm going to ignore those 30% chance of showers for Friday and Saturday because it's looking pretty sweet.
This past Saturday was a tease of what it can be like on the weekend when you're sitting out on the patio and enjoying it. So hopefully we get a repeat of that. We want to check in and see what our news team is working on for tonight. Austin is on the desk at 11:30.
Yeah, thanks, Patricia. We'll have some more details on the census deadline, which is coming tomorrow if you haven't done your census yet. Plus, We will expand on the province's plan to grow the scope of practice for pharmacists in an effort to ease some of the pressures that we're seeing at family doctor's office, walk-in clinics, and at hospitals as well. So we'll have that story tonight, but of course you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
All right, good stuff. Thank you. And finally for us tonight, a really cool way for many Charge fans to spend Mother's Day. Maybe even more surreal if you're the mom of a professional women's hockey player and you're spending Mother's Day cheering on your kid. Yeah, the moms were out on Sunday. Were being celebrated ahead of the game. Lots of pictures, and defender Brooke Hobson, you saw there, took her mom by the hand on the red carpet as they went into the CTC together. Such a nice moment. The party certainly started early, but the real gift, of course, was that double OT victory, sending this team to the PWHL final, which is awesome, although sadly, we were all excited to find out who they were going to be facing tonight with that Montreal-Minnesota game. And now, because of some illness situation, that game is not happening tonight. So one less thing for you to worry about this evening.
Yeah, I guess. Or worry about it. I was excited about it. I wasn't worried about it. Might have been a little intense. But.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how nice it is to see some victories at the CTC after we were denied. Those of us who are Sens fans, maybe not these two in the playoffs.
Hey, nobody said that.